What happens when three buffoons give life advice, explore unrealistic situations, and give random topics more thought than they probably deserve? It's the Spitballers Podcast with Andy, Mike, and Jason.
Yikes! Stripes! Pass me the wipes!
I'm so confused. Wait. Yikes, Stripes.
Yep.
Pass me the
It's
wipes.
a riddle. It's a riddle scat.
I'm trying to be careful with my thoughts on this, Jason.
Mm-hmm.
All I know is
But I didn't like it.
it was terrible.
It's very short. It was kind of like,
It didn't fill the space. It
Right.
certainly wasn't a scat.
No, it was not a scat.
So there's that part of it.
I said it's a riddle scat.
But
Never
I'm hearing
been
you.
done.
I can't wait to
Never to be done again.
I can't wait to figure this one out.
Look.
All I know is Pass Me the Wipes was there, and we're in
Yeah.
the middle of putting in a Chipotle order around the office as well.
I was referring to the stripes.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, Stripes would have to do with the Chipotle order as well. I
Right.
mean,
Hey,
On the wipes.
touche. Touche. But I don't usually shout yikes. I'm afraid that Chipotle is approaching.
maybe all the poop jokes around the office
Mhm.
are directly, like, psychologically corollary to how often you think about Chipotle. Because if you think, I know you think
Okay.
about Chipotle a lot.
A lot. Yeah.
And-
multiple times a day.
And I'd imagine that poop jokes would come the preceding 10 minutes before you think about it and the 10 minutes after.
Mhm.
Maybe
Sure.
that's the source.
And a couple hours after.
And a couple hours after. And the morning after, maybe the night after.
I mean, you got to pay the piper.
The pooper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the piper of the pooper.
Would you rather, what's the difference? And we are drafting animals. That would be a problem if they were larger, which I am looking forward to.
I mean, like a striped animal.
Right.
Mhm, mhm.
That would be very terrifying, and then you might poop your pants.
I see. That's the wipes. At Spitballers Pod,
The mystery has been revealed.
spitballerspod.com. Let me be clear. I didn't like the scat. Instagram.com/spitballerspod, YouTube.com/spitballers. Let's get going.
Would you rather?
Amelia from the website. Thank you for your question, Amelia. Would you rather live in an apartment next to professional yodelers
Okay. Yeah.
or, by the way, yeah, or a drummer for a heavy metal band? And I was going to say if Mike had gone with a yodel scout, that would have been great. But an apartment next to professional yodelers or a drummer for a heavy metal band, both of these situations are reasons to move
Sure.
quickly. But which one is more disruptive in truth?
I feel like
This one's pretty easy for me.
so drums are awesome. They are
Mhm.
great. And a good drum solo can rock.
Sure.
Within the context of a song. I feel
Right.
like drums completely solo. I'm going to a drum concert. I don't think I could do that. I don't think I could just sit there and just have drum and nothing else.
It's got to be like Blue Man Group drumming.
But that's the reason that it's good is because there's a bunch of music.
Correct. I mean, to me,
there's drum line stuff.
Sure, I'm talking like a solo kit. Like
I can
this is just-
appreciate a good 3 minutes of this guy drumming. But I'm easily choosing the yodelers because there is no way the yodelers stay out late. If you're a yodeler,
That was exactly.
Is that what you were gonna go
my,
with?
My brain went to the yodelers. Look, these are
I'm worried about my sleep.
these are squares. I mean,
Oh,
let's
yeah.
be honest.
Yeah.
If you're a professional yodeler and you're listening to this podcast,
I'm sorry.
there's no shame in it. You
Hang out with the tuba players.
you made your choice to be a yodeler, and
and you go to bed early.
This form of singing, like, we got to keep this tradition alive. No, we don't, unless like you're gonna go work at Disneyland and sit outside the Matterhorn and just yodel away forever. But
There's only one gig in the country for
Yes,
yodelers.
it's
That's it.
it's the
That's the
Matterhorn.
one job.
There's a yodeler outside
No.
the Matterhorn?
no, there's
Okay.
not.
But that's where they belong.
But they play that type of music, and if there was a yodeler, you'd think nothing of it. It would just be there.
Why do in my head, I think all yodelers come from Idaho. Is that possible?
Oh,
Idaho?
really?
Yeah, I don't know why.
I
I
thought
thought-
they were all from like Switzerland.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Well, I mean, domestically.
The U.S. bread.
The U.S. bread. I figured I don't know why.
Just yodeling and making potatoes?
They probably like potatoes.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But who doesn't like potatoes?
Yeah,
I mean, if we're into art
they're
forms
great.
that should be retired, can we get
already-
the opera in there? I mean,
I-
why does the opera exist? I'm being pitched during the movies. They want me to go to operas.
That is true. You go sit in the movie theater to watch an opera.
Opera feels like something that was invented before things that were much better were invented.
Yeah.
And people went because that was all you could see.
That was
Yeah.
what
do you
that
wanna
was.
do? You want to sit here and look at the dirt, or do you want to go to an opera?
Yeah, people used to read books a lot more too because you couldn't just listen to them or watch them in movie form. We've
But some
retired-
people even still read
right,
books. But
some
go on.
idiots still do. We've retired a couple things. We've retired tap dancers.
Yes.
We've retired tuba players. We've now retired yodelers and opera singers.
Yeah.
I mean, these things happen.
And I'm pretty proud of us.
The hard part here, like, I can respect. Well, I mean, I respect the drums and the yodelers, so that was the wrong train of thought. But the practicing of drums is just the worst. Like,
Yeah.
in terms of an instrument for your child to learn, that the time as they go from a beginner to just like an average player is excruciating. It is long and it is loud. I mean, you can play like an electronic.
That's what I was going to say. Do you buy into that? Can they learn on an electronic system just
yes.
fine?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I am team analog when it comes to drums, but I mean, basically everything you listen to, like if you professional songs, and I'm not talking about where it's hip hop, so it's clearly an electronic drum situation. Like even in rock music, they might be playing on a real set, but then they go in and they sound replace everything. Like they just digitize everything at the end of it anyway. So you're used to hearing that now. But
Two questions.
It takes so long to be a good drummer, and it's always loud. It's always loud.
So are we all going with the yodelers just for sleep?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
More yodelers or drummers in Idaho? Just out of curiosity, in your mind.
Yodelers for sure. I don't think you're allowed to drum in Idaho.
Let me ask you.
You can't dance.
Right.
Because, I mean, I assume that Footloose takes place there. I don't know. Where's Footloose take place? Does anybody know?
Nobody knows much about Idaho.
Beaumont.
It's actually pretty secret.
Wait, hold on.
Beaumont.
Yeah, and that
Next
going.
next
Keep going.
question.
I know
Where
that-
is Beaumont?
I know it's not a state.
Beaumont, Idaho? Kid.
He doesn't even know where Beaumont is.
I thought you knew off the top of your head.
Let me ask you this question, though, Mike. It's a little detour, but this is Spitballers. You're the musician of the group. You have lived in the world of both analog
Yes.
and digital, right? You were a game audio artist. I'll just share that with the Spitballers, making sound effects,
Don't tear
music
my secrets.
for game design. He has a game design degree. So you've lived in both universes. You make all the drops for the show.
I do the voiceovers?
And you're in a nice 38. I don't know how old you are. 39.
39.
So you're not like a young kid in the electronic digital age,
Right.
but you're not an old man who's just like, the 70s classic rock is all I live for. So do you resent any of the digital universe? Because do you believe there is a magic subtracted from music when you have so many one-person bands that exist, right? Because you can go.
Interesting.
You can create every instrument digitally, and one person can put it all together. Do you lose magic not having four people in a room with the analog instruments in terms of creating something unique?
Or do you love Kesha?
Well, look, I mean, TikTok from the top, isn't it? Make it drop.
Yeah, I think that's it.
I mean, I got no problem with Kesha's music. It's a jam from time to time. I mean, I guess you probably do lose some of it. I think you definitely lose some of it in the performance aspect of it, where like when it's everything is pre-programmed, you can't have those just the tasty magical moments that come out of nowhere, and then your other instrument, like, or your bass player hears a guitar player do something, and now it changes what the bass player was going to do, so you get more of the improv.
Wouldn't that also change vocals
to
some degree, right? Like the way that you're improvising?
Yes, absolutely. And singers just like they'll change the lead line of the melody, and then that'll change the harmony. So yeah, there is in the live performance of it, but I think there's when it comes to the recording process, at least for a long time, you go to a click track, right? Which a click track, for,
right?
if
Yeah,
you don't know
metronome.
what that is, that's a metronome. It's clicking the entire time you're recording so that your song stays in time. Where they didn't used to have those things back in the the 60s and the 70s, which is if you
is that
pay
because they
attention-
record all the instruments separately, so you're keeping them all on?
No, a lot of the time back then they recorded everything at the exact same time.
Gotcha.
And it was everybody has to play either perfect or good enough. So musicianship has certainly declined because you had to be perfect. Because it was like one take, you're on tape, it's harder to punch in and fix mistakes. So yeah, there's probably a little bit of the magic that is gone, but music is still
It
good.
evolves, right?
I don't understand the new music, but I hear it's great.
I was going to say, is the last 10 years the worst music? Or is it just because we're totally unawares?
It's because we are old.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I heard someone talking about this. They're like the part of your brain that is more responsible for an emotional response. Oh, look, this could be talking out of my butt, but sounded good.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Please talk out of your butt.
When you're a teenager, like that area is just either larger or just a little bit more in control, which I mean that checks out for being a teenager. And then you make all these associative memories with music, and that's why the music of when you're a teenager, like that's why it is so much better than everything else because you are so emotionally connected
It does
to
seem
those
like
songs.
everybody at their age has their favorite era that they aren't
Yes.
ever going to let go of.
You find a cutoff point. I don't know what age is that. What age is the cutoff point where you're like, I'm done with new music?
I think it's probably like 5 years out of high school or something.
Yeah, I was going to say 23, which is
5 years out of high
Interesting.
Oh, my goodness. I
Yeah.
love Michael Keaton. Also, very important, Beaumont is in Utah. I found that out.
They're yodeling in
Hal
Utah.
said it was Texas.
There's
Two Beaumonts?
There's two Beaumonts, but Footloose was Beaumont, Texas.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, so thank you for breaking in with
While
that
the original
information.
film has
Oh,
the fictional
no!
town of Beaumont located in Utah, the remake instead places the town in Georgia. I don't know where you're getting your information from, Owl, but you're wrong.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Al on this one.
I'm now remembering they remade Footloose.
I have no idea. I've never seen either.
Ernest.
Was the bacon in that one?
Ernest from Twitter. Would you rather be surrounded by people who brag all the time or by people who complain all the time?
Oh man.
Those are both
Oh
bad.
man.
I
think these are the two worst things to be
Yeah.
around and things that I'm always afraid of being. I'm afraid of complaining too much, and you don't want to be the person that brags all the time.
But by the nature of you fearing that you could become that, you won't. You like because
the worst
if
don't think about that.
That's exactly right. My teenage daughter has a couple of friends. She's got
Oh no.
great friends but there are two that I could think of.
Oh,
What's their names?
No.
I'm not
Oh,
outing
no.
any. I'm not saying whether it's a boy or a girl, but there are two of the friends that
Oh yes.
I
yes.
cannot believe.
Which one? The brag
the
or
brag. I've never heard one of them ever say anything that isn't how awesome they are at something. It's unbelievable. We've talked about it in our family. Like, are you kidding? And we've like gone on
Is your
long
daughter
car
aware?
rides. Oh
Like,
yes.
okay.
Everyone is aware. That person is the only person in the world that is not
that
aware.
has to be
Oh, that's fabulous.
that has to be an only child.
It is not an only
Oh,
child.
okay. I thought maybe it was a byproduct of the like dual focus parental, like everything you do is great.
No. And the thing is some of that when
it's
you're
Samantha, right?
when you're in those
Julie.
when you're in the teenage years,
Barbara.
a lot of the bragginess isn't just like right now. Like if we know someone that is super braggy, it's because they think so much of themselves. I think with the teenage years though, it's their fears of wanting to be liked. You know what I mean? Like so they just the only thing they can talk about is themselves.
Yeah, you overcompensate because you're actually insecure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will say this. Having been around that person many times, it
So
can actually become
Layla's very insecure.
it can become pretty entertaining. Like, I actually
More entertaining than complaining.
Oh, absolutely. I actually enjoy playing our mental games of counting the brags. So
Are you all like, is there like an eye contact moment that's happening?
No, there's just a
From the big-
recap session afterwards.
About how good they are at
Yeah,
these
like-
10 things.
What did you hear? But so I don't know. I'm actually realizing that while I thought for sure that would be the worst. The braggy person is the worst. I actually think that that's better.
Oh, it's so much better.
Someone that complains about everything, it just drags you down.
It's toxic.
I was going to say bragging, if it's just bragging, probably isn't that impactful on the people around you. Now, if it comes with I know everything, then it can be pretty negative, because then it's like nobody's opinion matters because my opinion's the most important, and I know because we've all been around those, and that is brutal.
You're 100% right. It's the know-it-all more than the braggart that is way worse because, and you nailed it, nobody else's opinion matters. But when you're a complainer, you ruin situations.
Yep.
You think you're going to dinner with a complainer?
Wah.
Yeah, and you're going to have a good time
What a
watching
dirty
them,
menu.
watching them tell the waiter why their food is wrong. Oh my goodness! I want to have one of those SNL turtle shirts and go hide in my shell whenever I'm around a real complainer.
Yeah, and there's only one other kind of person that exists. Those are only 4 people, and the other one is the I had that idea too person.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like the one that's always, they didn't say it, but they were thinking it.
Oh, I had that same thought.
They're tied in with the one-upper.
Oh, the one up
They're
there.
usually the same person.
The one upper is the worst version of the braggy person because
Oh,
they
yeah.
can't hear someone else say anything that is
you
good
went
in
to
their life.
You went to Australia? Yeah, I have been there a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I know my way around there. All right. All in favor of the braggart?
Oh, yeah. You
Okay.
have to.
Jamal from Patreon, would you rather all I can't read this.
Would you rather?
That all songs exist. Okay.
There we go.
But they are all performed by
But they are all. Sorry, I'm making fun of you.
but they are all performed by Pitbull, or only one Pitbull. Or only one Pitbull song exists, but it's performed by every artist with their own cover interpretation.
Jamal,
That is a really funny question.
Jamal from Patreon, thank you for your support and thank you for this question because this question tickles me.
So you're just waiting for new versions of the same song to come out. That's what music is. Music is just waiting for the next release
Oh, man.
of the cover of the Pitbull song.
Of the song.
Right.
Like the song.
Or, I mean, imagine a world where Pitbull's the only artist. So you just open your Spotify and it's just Pitbull.
Oh man, Pitbull singing "What a Wonderful World." Oh brother, Mike. I feel like Mike can give us some Pitbull here.
I don't know.
You don't.
I was just trying to like what are the big Pitbull songs? I know
You did one with
Kesha.
Kesha.
I know I know what he looks like. I can hear his distinct voice
Yeah,
in my
you
head.
can hear him come in and dance get
Yes.
the hips loose.
But what are his big songs? I have no
Put up
idea.
gasolina.
Was he Gasolina?
Yeah.
Oh, that song jams.
I
I have
would
no
that-
idea what they're saying.
would
But
The
that-
other one was Timber
Wait,
oh, it's
with
going down.
Kesha.
Okay.
wait. Now, in order to really unpack this, we have to figure out which one of his songs would be the music sung by
Okay.
everyone. Because
Okay.
if it's gasolina.
Fireball.
What about gasolina?
No one knows what it means.
No one
But
knows.
it's provocative.
Bon Bon.
Like Super Bon Bon?
No,
That can't be
wasn't.
him. But he does have a song called Bon Bon.
Which
like
are
the dessert?
delicious. Yeah.
Don't Stop the Party.
Okay. I like that.
That's the song.
It's good energy. Don't stop the party.
I think what's a better exploration of music? Which are you getting more art?
You're getting
Are
more
you
art
getting
with
more art
more
with different artists
100%.
covering
Yes.
it?
without a
Then
doubt.
that's the one I'm taking.
Yeah, because the truth is, I've heard cover songs that are almost nothing like the original. You know, you can have a rock, hardcore metal song that is taken and really slowed down and made something
I thought you were specifically the Disturbed cover.
Oh, sure, that's a great one.
Which song? What? Now it's escaping me. Shoot, it was a
Hello, darkness.
yeah. There it
Hello.
is. Yes.
Yeah. So I do think artists, and what a challenge. What a great challenge for real musicians to say, I'm going to cover Pitbull. Is anybody currently covering Pitbull? I mean, I don't think you're allowed to cover that because it's not music.
I feel like Pitbull's probably a bragger.
Oh, the clip.
Is it bragging if it's all true?
That's a good question.
the
False modesty isn't anything
the clip
better.
I think of immediately for Pitbull is just like one of those, like a reel or something, and it's Pitbull talking about how he overtook. Like if you go Google Pitbull, he has overtaken the dog. Like,
oh, yeah.
he's like, my SEO presence in the world is I have surpassed the breed of Pitbull.
I love
It's
it.
like, oh, well, I mean, look, if you're right, you're right.
Wait, Pitbull's more popular than the
I don't know.
the
I've
dog
never
breed?
actually checked it. Let's find out. Let's all do it together.
Okay,
Pitbull.
Sure enough.
Yeah.
Pitbull,
Music, his Instagram, his wiki.
That's the true. I mean, that's a brag-worthy thing.
heck yeah, it is.
Eat it, Pitbull dogs.
I mean, if I had named myself,
Pitbull human.
if I'm an artist and I name myself Banana,
Right.
and eventually I surpass the fruit,
That's a big climb.
that
Yeah.
is.
I'm taking on Skunk over here. Okay, that's what I want. I want.
That's
when
your
you-
artist name?
When you
Big
Google
Skunk.
that's me. That's not that smelly animal.
Skunk.
That's a smelly man.
Skunk Banana.
What's your? What would be your catchphrase if you're DJ Skunk? It's just the noise.
Skunks
Yeah.
aren't farting.
Yeah.
Well, what-
They're misting.
No, they're
Yeah.
fart. That's definitely a fart. You got to classify
a-
that as a fart. Dude,
Ah, that's a sweet
skunks
aromatic
fart.
mist.
I mean, if you're a
Do
skunk,
skunks fart? Did you just Google that?
I did Google that, and the first thing that it tells me is birds do not fart. Okay, thanks Google.
Okay.
Oh wait, does it? there's a website. Does it fart?
Oh, you could just like ask it.
Yes, skunks.
Does it fart?
Yes,
I mean,
sloths.
Well, we're not questioning whether the
Yeah.
animal can fart. I believe all animals with
Birds do not fart.
with butts. Do birds
Yeah.
have butts?
Do birds poop? I would imagine
Yeah.
they have a butt.
Well, then
oh,
they
yes,
must
they have
fart.
they have an anus. They have a weird pooping process though. But I got a skunk question. So we've talked about on this podcast. Everybody, like
Got a skunk question. Go
yeah,
on.
no, just like if you really admit it, everyone is a little bit fascinated and enamored with their own brand.
Oh yeah,
Like when you squeak one out, you're like,
yeah. You're like it's interesting
you're
to
like,
me.
oh, that's bad, but
right.
I sort of like it because that's me.
Right.
I created this. Does a skunk like it when they blast someone in the face?
Do they get high on their own supply?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Does the skunk enjoy the scent of their own spray?
Of course they do. I mean, of course
Okay,
they do.
good.
They recognize that it's harsh.
Game recognized game.
But game, yes, game recognized game over here. I can tell you, as the person that's going to take over the search engine optimization of my word skunk, I can tell you that they enjoy it. This is a superpower. I mean, you're telling me you have a superpower and you're going to be like, I don't even like my super. No, you're going to be like, check this out.
That's what you're known for. What is the skunk without the smell?
Yeah,
A raccoon or something.
yeah. It's
How committed are you to this?
I am not that committed.
Because bigskunk.com is available for $2,800.
All right.
Now, yeah, at first I was like, well,
I'll make a GoFundMe for that.
maybe you could spell it SKUNQUE, but then you wouldn't be able to take over the search engine. You got to be skunk just as it sounds.
Yeah.
Pitbull didn't change it.
No, he did not.
Also, looking through the massive list of animals, whether they fart or not, it's basically birds that don't fart. Like I'm like going through it, everyone that's a no is like parrot, no, like but
Because it's a bird.
yeah, exactly. Everything else. I mean, I've got some
Parrot, no. Wren, no. Eagle, no.
Yeah.
Like a blue whale?
Let
Is a blue whale? Rip them off?
me let me see.
Imagine the bubbles.
Ooh.
I mean, you would see that coming from a mile away.
Yes, blue whales
yes,
do
we
fart.
did.
We did it.
Okay, we are moving on, regrettably.
Support for today's show comes from our friends at Helix Sleep. Ladies and gentlemen, sleeping is incredibly important. The time you spend on the mattress, you got to get that rest. You got to recover. You need to make sure you are on the right mattress. That's where Helix Sleep comes in. They have a quiz that takes just 2 minutes to complete and matches you with your body type and to your sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. Why would you buy a mattress made for somebody else? We're talking about, are you soft, medium, or firm? Which one do you prefer? Do you sleep on your side, your back, your stomach? Do you move around at night? Do you wake up with back pain? Do you need extra help when it comes to cooling because you live in a desert and you need to have cooling there? I love my Helix Sleep mattress. Look, it's awesome. You don't have to take just my word for it. Getting unbelievable awards like #1 best overall mattress pick of 2020 and by GQ and Wired magazine. Go to helixsleep.com/ballers, take their 2-minute sleep quiz, and they'll match you to a customized mattress that will give you the best sleep of your life. Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/ballers. That's helixsleep.com/ballers for up to $200 off and 2 free pillows.
What's the difference between me and you? Me and you.
Was that the new Pitbull song? What is the difference between an acquaintance, a friend, and a companion?
Well, this seems like an easy one.
It does seem
I'm a
like
little.
that.
I'm a little.
People don't know the difference.
No,
on
I'm not
this one?
sure about the last one. A
I
companion.
I think you,
Because I feel like that might be broader than Go on.
I feel like a companion means you're in a relationship.
Yeah.
There's love here. There's love
yeah,
in
but
the air.
okay, let me ask it this way. Frodo and Sam, were they companions?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I didn't watch behind the scenes. I don't.
Well, I mean, a companion doesn't have to be romantic.
No, not at all.
That's what I was saying.
That's my point.
It can. A companion acts,
But it
can
doesn't have to be.
a romantic aspect
all
to
three
it.
of us are companions.
Yes, we are on a adventure of podcasting.
So does that mean a companion is more than a friend?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, a companion's like a super best friend
Oh.
because you are together so much.
Now, this is 100% cheating the entire purpose of the game.
Did you Google it?
But I did Google the word companion because I wanted to see the descriptor. A person or animal with whom one spends a lot of time or with whom one travels. So the caveat
There
of
you go.
traveling with someone, which I know Googling was not at all supposed to be part of this, but
So is everyone on?
We
an
make the rules
Hold
here.
on, hold
Yeah.
on. Because everyone on the airplane, are we all companions?
For a short while, maybe you're
No,
a traveling companion.
no,
No, because you don't
no.
know them. You have to know them.
yeah, and I don't make a practice of traveling with them. I traveled once with them on accident.
Sure, but
A
I mean,
dog is a loyal companion.
Yeah,
I feel like the number of times does not matter. I could go for the first time with a friend, and they are now my companion.
So
Only if you travel more than 12 hours.
12.
Really?
I
Is
was
that
gonna,
the
s-
limit?
I was
I
going to
mean,
go like 6.
If you go on a single hike for 45 minutes or something, are they your companion?
A hike is not really traveling.
no, it is not.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just thinking back to the Lord of the Rings thing. I mean, they couldn't take a plane.
They didn't call that a hike.
But
I
it
mean,
really,
to Mordor, a hike to Mordor.
that being said, it was a hike.
Well,
Like, I've never thought of it like that.
yeah, when they
That
get to
was
the
abs-
mountain, but before that's not a hike.
I
You
mean,
can't hike on, like, flat ground.
I guess you
they do the
can.
Appalachian Trail. That's a hike, right?
The Lord of the
they,
Ring-
not me, but they.
The Lord of the Rings was
It's a
just a hike. I have never realized that because
It's exercise propaganda.
yeah, it's ridiculous.
Get out there and stay healthy.
An acquaintance is what
It's
as
someone
compared to a friend
it's someone you know that you don't like.
that you don't like.
Absolutely. If you like them, they're a friend.
No.
Yeah.
You can have an acquaintance and like them.
Okay, let me put. So
Apparently, this is more difficult than
if
we
you
thought.
go to a restaurant frequently and you see a host or hostess frequently,
Mhm.
they're not your friend.
Mm-mm.
Are they your acquaintance? Like if you
Do you
ran
like-
into,
do you
if
like 'em?
If you ran into that host or hostess in a Target later on, you'd say hi, right? You wouldn't ignore the presence of this person you're familiar with.
If I liked that person, I go there every week. I
Yeah.
like that person. Let's name that
Sheila.
person.
Sheila, yeah.
Of course.
Okay.
I like Sheila. I go there and I see she knows who I am. I know who
Yeah.
she is.
Yeah.
We chat every time I'm
I
there.
mean, you know her name.
That's a friend.
Really?
No.
That's a friend.
No.
If
Well, you're
I
too
go-
loosey goosey with
No.
your
Yeah.
friendships.
No, if
Yeah.
I go there and I talk to Sheila every time, and she's so rude. I know who she is. I don't really like her. That's an acquaintance.
That's an enemy.
Well, sure, but you keep your enemies close.
So you've just got thousands upon thousands of friends
enemies.
all over
I
the
don't
place.
like any of you.
Acquaintances then.
Yes, to so many acquaintances.
So yeah, a friend is someone that you don't travel with, but you like,
And you hang out.
and a friend can be a companion at the same time.
Yes.
But an acquaintance
There's overlap.
can't be a friend or companion.
So companion,
Well, no, an acquaintance can be a companion if you're on the same airplane.
that's true. That is true. That
Only if you're sitting next to them. If they're
Okay.
sitting in another
What's
part
the-
of the
what's
plane,
the-
you got to be side by side with the friend. That's a companion.
What about the aisle?
That's fine. It's got to be. You got to be able to talk to them.
Yeah,
If you can talk.
Okay, so
talk to-
we're talking a
like
one
a train
row,
car.
a
you're
one row
fine.
buffer.
and you better be talking at least a little bit about the travel,
Well,
Oh
that's-
yes,
because
of
otherwise
course.
they're not really traveling with you.
Well, what else are you going to
Nice
talk to?
wings
Like
this plane has.
you aren't going to talk to someone you hate about anything but the travel.
Yep.
If you're on an airplane,
Maybe the weather.
That's true.
but then the weather will be related because you're like, oh, well, I
Right.
hope we have good weather for this travel we're about to take.
Pretty
Companion.
smooth landing.
Also, we need to start using that word more.
Companion?
Absolutely. I don't think I've used it in my life.
Clearly, you didn't know what it meant.
Well, that's why we are digging deep
Yes.
here for me and for the people.
And to our next, what's the difference? What's the difference between a cloth, a rag, and a towel? Which, look, this is more important than you think, because if you spill something
Mm-hmm.
and you say, hand me a rag,
Yeah,
I have an expectation in my head of what I'm getting.
I know exactly.
And it better absorb.
I know the difference
Ooh,
for sure,
sure.
for me between. I mean, everyone knows what a towel is, right? I mean,
Yeah.
this is like a towel.
Yeah, the size.
Although there is a size, there's got to be a threshold here between rag and towel. Because I've seen people, they got dish towels. They call them dish towels. They're not much bigger than a rag.
No, that's a dish rag.
But a towel.
Ooh.
But I
They're
said
just calling it wrong.
a towel can become a rag. It just, for me, a rag is about purpose.
Well, let's talk about the rag versus cloth,
Okay.
because to me,
Cloth can become a rag.
I would never. If there is,
but it can't go back. A rag can never become a cloth again.
never.
A cloth doesn't
Absolute-
absorb
it's-
jack squat.
Oh.
It's a matter of
It's a shirt.
when there's something gross to clean up. If there is something gross to clean up, you're never using a cloth. A
No.
cloth is nice.
no. Yeah,
a
of
rag
course.
is made to clean up
What's a cloth for
vomit.
then?
A
A
cloth?
cloth. So many things.
Oh,
really?
yeah.
Tell me.
Make clothing.
Well, no.
Clean your face.
Independent
I'm not.
cloth.
I'm not cleaning my face with a rag. A rag is nasty. A rag
Really?
is dirty. A
Yeah,
rag is
you would use a towel.
well to dry my face. But I'm
Yeah,
gonna
but what
use
do
a
you wash
cloth.
your face with? A washcloth.
Yeah.
Oh, a cloth.
A cloth. Yes, thank you. A cloth. If you're talking about,
be darned.
if you're talking about not sewing onto clothing, a cloth is for cleaning things that are
Yeah.
okay. A rag is for cleaning things that are not okay.
Oh, like you spill some cereal on the ground.
If it's milk, I'm not putting that in my nice cloth.
Right.
I'm getting a rag. I'm going to make sure I wash that out. If there's
A
oil
towel-
on the ground, I'm not getting a cloth. I'm getting a rag. It's dirty.
And
Rags
a towel
are
is
dirty.
just for an emergency. You don't have a cloth or a rag. You use a towel.
A towel for
or
me
is it
is
quantity?
usually it's for a shower.
Yeah.
Like that's my most common towel.
Or the pool.
use. Or the pool. It's a towel is just a
No.
larger absorbent.
I need help here.
And then it turns into a rag if you use it on like juice.
So let's say you're in a pickle.
On juice?
Yeah.
Yeah,
If- if-
this is. I'm going to go
oh,
right
yeah,
there.
If you have a good towel and there's cranberry juice all over the floor,
Right.
and you use your towel, that towel is now a rag.
Okay, I guess I just would never use a towel.
No, but
to clean juice.
what if you had to?
Yes, that's what we're
Okay.
talking.
Because
you're forced to do it.
here's the situation. Let's say you use a bath towel, your bath towel. Somebody spilled some juice. I know.
I'm so upset right
I
now.
know.
I've really
Now,
nice towels.
technically, shouldn't you just be able to wash said item and it be restored good as new? But in your head, you don't think it's good as new.
I mean, things stain.
No,
Brother.
but without the stain.
without the stain, you just get like nasty
Like if you
bacteria.
if you soaked up a bunch of spilled Coca-Cola, that's probably not staining.
It could.
That would stain.
Okay,
Sprite.
Sprite.
If the stain, if there's no stain once you wash the towel,
It's a black towel, guys. All right.
it does. It comes. It turns back into a towel because you're going to forget. You
Right,
you
that's
have
right.
forgotten. But if you remember
Uh-huh.
that
That's a
you
rag.
used it
So
to
if
clean
you
up the Sprite,
soaked up some milk, A black towel, you soak up some milk.
Yeah.
Is that thing getting thrown in the garbage?
No,
or you wash
You
it?
wash it. And
It's-
maybe it's a towel, maybe it's a rag. I
It's
don't know.
From that point on?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to wait and see what comes out of the dryer. For me, it's going in the garbage if I clean up milk.
Oh, God.
I'm not putting milk in my washing machine.
Now, I got to, Andy, you mentioned something that was a hot button in the Wright household for a long time. So
Okay.
upon the dishwasher, you got the handle, and that's where you hang a towel or the dish towel. But it's often like you wash your hands, you dry your hand on this towel.
Yeah, I don't like that, but go on.
You don't like to have a towel to dry
Go
your
on.
hands? Okay.
No, it's a little messy. It's a little gross for me. Cross-contamination.
You
Oh,
like
okay.
paper towels.
I prefer them because of cleanliness. I'm concerned about 5 people, 3 kids.
Okay,
Sure.
Anyway, go on.
But the point of me bringing it up is, for so long, we had decorative, like they looked very nice, and these things, all they did was they would take the water that's on your hands and they would wipe it off directly onto the ground.
Because it doesn't absorb.
Because the absorption of this material was approximately 0.0%.
It might as well have been plastic.
It might as well have been a plastic bag.
That's a cloth.
That's a cloth?
That is absolutely a cloth.
What are we doing with
They're
those
just
things?
decorative.
Yeah, I mean, that's decoration.
And
You
people
don't-
have gotten out of control in that domain.
People-
They're like, we don't need it to absorb.
Why would you make something that has such an important function, such as drying, make it not dry? Why does this exist?
Because I think, like, we have those decorative – I know exactly what you're talking about. The decorative towels that have –
But it was put in a place,
design.
not just – this isn't like the decorative pillows.
Yeah, you
which-
have a spill. You're grabbing that thing.
Exactly. Or you got to dry your hands.
Paper towels, man. They're
I'm trying to respect the earth here, Jason.
It's paper. Paper's fine. Paper. Yeah.
No, that's not how it works.
That's fine.
Well, you recycle paper,
Yeah.
but probably not with a bunch of milk on it.
Yes.
No.
exactly.
Because I respect the earth.
But we have gotten to the point where, I mean, it took many years of hard-fought
Oh,
battles.
you got an absorbent one?
And they are, I don't know what material this thing is, but it's made out of magic. Because
It absorbs
wow.
everything?
because you just lightly caress this over your hands, instantly dry.
So you swung the pendulum all the way to like
And
you use it after showers.
and they're decorative. Like they
What?
look nice. Yeah, so it exists. Ladies and gentlemen out there are towels that look good and actually dry. So stop buying that bull crap
Oh, wow.
that doesn't dry.
And Mike's affiliate code's in the show description. So
I would give it, but I don't even know what these towels are.
All right. What is the difference between sick, ill, and under the weather?
Well, under the weather is a lie.
That's exactly where I was going.
Yeah. I mean, look, when you're under the weather, that's what you say when you're trying to get out of something. Oh, we're feeling under the weather. I can't come to that event. I'm so sorry. Like that's
Now wait a minute.
Oh, yeah.
So that means if you say you're saying that if you're under the weather, you are healthy.
You're healthy enough, absolutely.
Yeah,
you could
you
go
could
there.
go.
But
Now,
I
if-
got a little sniffle.
Here's the problem.
I'm protecting you because
This
I'm
is-
under the weather.
There's only one. Now I get it. It's a great excuse. It sounds awesome. And it doesn't invite questions very often, right? You say you're sick. What are you sick with?
Yep.
You say I'm under the weather. Like,
Oh, okay.
dang it. He
I
doesn't have
understand.
to come.
I understand you don't want to be here.
But
yeah. the
if you
code.
have a stomach, let's say you had some bad Chipotle. We
Okay.
bring it back to a normal part of your life, Mike. You have some Chipotle. Now, you're not sick. You're not ill. Could you be under the weather from it? Let's say you feel like you have a bad stomach ache from Chipotle. Are you under the weather?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't because
But it prohibits you from playing pickleball in the morning.
sure.
But
if
I don't
it
think
makes
you'd
you
ever
miss something,
You wouldn't describe that as being under the weather.
what would you say? Stomach ache?
I got the poops. I mean, I would. I would.
got the cramps.
I wouldn't use
You
any
wouldn't
of
say I'm
these
feeling a
words.
little under the weather. I'm not going to be there this morning.
No, you
to
would
describe
you
your
would say I ate Chipotle last night, and everyone
enough
understands.
said.
I can't make it. Need more hours.
Okay, all right. So under the weather's a lie.
Ill to me, and if obviously there's two meanings here.
Oh.
One means awesome, right? Like, oh man,
Wait.
when something's ill.
Well, something could be sick and also be great.
Yeah, man, that's
great.
sick.
But taking the
We're not using
medical,
those.
the medical terminology here, ill
Bedridden.
means you're throwing up.
Oh, really? I was going
Absolutely.
bedridden. You got to
No,
be in bed.
ooh.
To me, I don't think I've said that I got ill unless I threw up.
Hmm.
Like that is.
I don't know about that.
That's the quintessential
For you.
for me.
Yeah.
And what I've found is
I think
I'm
it
right.
is- it
He's
is
very ill. If somebody said they're very ill, I would think they're in bed
throwing
sick.
up.
No, not throwing up.
Oh,
I
they've
don't
already
know.
thrown up.
I don't know that you have to get to the vomit point, but
Yeah.
I think it has to be tummy related. Because when I
Really?
when I overeat, I don't say I feel sick. I go, oh, I feel ill.
Really?
That's the verbiage that comes out of my
They've
mouth.
missed a week. They were very ill.
If
You think
it-
they're thrown up?
I think at least there was the fear of it. There was nausea. You know,
Interesting.
nausea
Yes.
doesn't always mean vomiting, but
Are you on the tummy train too there, producers? Do you think ill means tummy, or do you think of bedridden?
No, I think more of bedridden, serious,
More
Oh,
serious.
maybe critical.
Yeah, shut up.
Yeah.
Shut your mouth.
I see
It's
see
crit to kill.
the judge also nodding. Is that how you think of it?
Yeah, usually.
Excellent.
I don't know.
No, I mean,
agree to disagree.
if you got ill, then I think of throwing up.
So if
If you've been ill, I think you're very serious.
You're saying you've never thrown up when you were sick?
Who are you talking to?
yeah, I
Jason.
mean, yeah,
yeah,
sure,
but I was ill.
Yeah, but I got sick and
But
then
we're
I was
trying
ill.
to figure out the difference between sick and ill. I was just
Yeah, and I told it to you, and then you're like, no, that's not it. That's not it. Oh
sick,
wait, I mean it was
sick
more
is
like
short term. Ill is long term. That's how I think of it.
Okay, I mean,
that's fair.
I
But
don't
I've
have
been
a
I've
problem
been
with
sick.
that, yeah.
I've been ill.
whatever
Ooh, ill.
ill is worse.
What
than,
hospital are they at?
ill is worse than sick. Like if you're going to
Yeah.
order these,
Yeah.
it's under the weather, sick, ill, because when you have an illness, that sounds so much like if you're sick.
Yeah.
That like if you get a cold, common cold, that's a sick. That's just
Yeah, you're
I was
sick,
sick.
yeah.
Like
Uh-huh.
it's not something that
Sickness,
you're battling.
illness. We should have put
I mean, you're not usually going to the doctor when you get sick. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
it's just to me, it's just
you have to get to the point where you say I have an illness, not I have a sickness.
exactly.
Hmm.
And then once it's over and you're completely fine, but you still don't want to go to the party.
Now,
you're just a little under the weather.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because the tummy thing. If I get off a roller coaster, I say, "Hey, I got sick." That made me sick.
Mm.
That
Hmm.
made me sick.
That is a good point. Because that is
Yeah.
a very common use.
And you
Yeah.
get motion sick.
Ooh.
You don't get motion ill.
Motion illness?
No, you don't.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
I think
This is
we've
what-
been refuted.
Yeah.
Well,
all right.
dude, look,
hey,
it's-
a true man can.
we're humble.
We
We're not
can
braggarts.
We can admit, yeah, I too am exceptionally humble.
Hey, do we have time for one more, or do we want to move on to the draft?
let's draft.
Spitwads, look, it's time. All you parents out there, cross off one of the most important things on your to-do list. We're talking about life insurance, and I get it. I get it. Nobody wants to think about life insurance. Thank you, Mike. It's not only boring,
It's necessary.
but
though.
it's something that, you just don't want to entertain those thoughts, but it's something that actually protects you and your family. And when we're talking about Fabric, they have incredible life insurance policies, and they can be customized for your family. You can be up and running in 10 minutes. It was built by parents for parents, all for the purpose of making that process of something that's very difficult very easy. And they help you manage your family's finances and think about things like life insurance. It's all online. You can go on to Fabric, and it's all on your schedule. You don't need to schedule anything or make time for phone calls or appointments. You can apply when it's convenient for you. And they have a 30-day money-back guarantee. And even more importantly, Fabric has 1,600 five-star reviews on Trustpilot. And it's fully backed by Vantis Life. So this is an insurance company that is protecting you, and you can protect your family's financial future with Fabric. Apply today in just 10 minutes and meetfabric.com/ballers. That's meetfabric.com/ballers, MEET fabric.com/ballers. Fabric Insurance Agency, policies issued by Vantis Life, not available in New York and Montana. Prices subject to underwriting and health questions.
The Spitballers Draft.
Do you want to apologize to Al after all the mean things you said and then eventually gave in to totally his opinion?
I would absolutely not
It was
like to
actually your
apologize.
opinion, Andy.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I would like to apologize
That's a good
to you,
point, actually.
Andy. Andy, I'm sorry that I had said things that were wrong, and thank
No.
you for your wisdom.
Yeah,
in helping
I
me
guess
see
Al
the
is just
light.
copying me.
Right.
It's me. I just like to copy people. I was gonna say that too.
He's one of those guys.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I was on his side for so short a period of time right there. We are drafting animals that would be a problem if they were larger. Okay,
Yes.
we are omitting insects, which all would be a problem if they were
Yes.
if they
Hornets,
were larger.
wasps, mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Yikes.
It's a
And
big
ants lifting 5,000
Yeah,
times
yeah.
their body weight.
Mhm.
However, we are drafting animals. That would be a problem if they were larger. And I thought this one was very interesting to think about.
Yes.
Because some animals, if they were bigger, I think it would have vast impacts on the earth. So, Mike, you get to pick first. Let's see which direction you went.
Yeah, so when I was thinking of it, you're like, I mean, there's all the big scary animals, make them bigger, bigger problem. But, like, for the most part, you know, like, at least where we live, like, you could avoid those animals. Like the bears
That's
are
a
in
good
the
point.
They're
That's a
in
good
the
point.
woods. I'll just not go in those parts of the woods, and I will avoid the gigantic bear.
All the big
But
animals,
still a very good pick. If you
they're
want
in the
to.
zoo.
Right.
Like, I've never seen a wild elephant.
But if they were way bigger, house cats would be a big problem. Number one, I mean, we don't like house cats. Number two, the allergens that would be floating
Oh,
around, not just a house. It would no longer be contained.
Hashtag nasal spray.
I mean, yes, this would be a problem universally.
Oh, dander would roam across neighborhoods.
It would take over. Like, we would need a dander index. You know, that we track like pollen and like
Oh, yeah.
air quality.
It would just
What's-
be part of the air?
What's the dander like today? Those darn cats are at it again,
And
I mean,
cats
you just-
suck, too.
and they're mean.
You just drafted house lions. That's what you just drafted.
But yes, but they're like walking around on your fence, staring at you, judging you,
I mean, imagine your curtains.
knocking your stuff over.
Imagine your curtains in your couch when
Gone.
a giant house cat gets a hold of it.
And I'm pretty sure cats sit around thinking, if I were just bigger,
Yes.
what'd I do to this human I hate?
Yeah.
Okay, go with the house cats.
Planet of the Apes should really have been Planet of the Giant Cats because they are monsters. Cats was on my list for sure. I hate cats.
Just imagine if the musical was bigger. Jason, you've got to pick.
All right. I am up, and I'm going to go with one of the last things I added to my list.
That's an interesting strategy.
Well, I found it late, and I realized that even though there's a bunch of these small little, mean rapscallion animals that would be a real problem if they got bigger, this one would be terrifying because of, in my opinion, pterodactyls. I'm going with a great horned owl.
Okay.
If you take owls
Okay.
are
They're very large.
vicious predators. They're very large,
They're very wise, though.
but yeah, that's true. Imagine how smart.
Some of them.
If you had giant, I mean, basically, imagine that there's pterodactyls today.
It's terrible.
A huge flying monstrous hawk in the sky that could.
So you didn't go with hawks getting bigger. You went with an animal that might appear like a big hawk.
Well, the thing is, I'm saying they are getting to the size of a pterodactyl, and they are freaky looking.
You don't think that head's going to get too big and they'll just plummet?
I think
Well,
that
they're actually not like they're real poofy.
It's poofy.
Yeah, the body
Oh, have you
size.
ever seen the shaved owls?
Yeah, I've seen like the baby ones.
Yeah, that's
there's
the
like
hairless.
the baby owls that look like aliens.
That is.
Yeah.
Google it,
I'll look it up.
Spitballers.
I'm impressed. I didn't have great horned owl on my list.
Oh my word! I googled it. Holy moly! Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Spitwads. Google hairless owls. They are terrifying.
And they're standing on their legs. Their eyes are so big they look like aliens.
Would they be proportionally wiser if they're bigger?
I mean, the brain.
Like,
gets
would they
bigger.
run the world? Like, would you go and talk to the great horned owls for advice and wisdom like Mr. Rogers?
Yeah, I don't think they would be willing to hear you.
Oh, they
think-
just eat you.
I think they would eat you.
Okay.
and not fart?
Oh, good point, Mike.
I have two picks.
Yes, you do.
My first one, I know it's a big animal, but if it's bigger, it's a real issue,
Sure.
and that is sharks.
Okay.
Because if a shark, you scale if you
Yeah.
if you scale them up, you no longer have a certain boat size that's permitted in the world because they'll just eat you. They'll eat the boat. Like the only thing stopping them from eating the boat right now is they're not big enough to eat a boat.
Yeah, the people that make battleships will be really excited because sales of battleships will go through the roof.
Yeah, you're sailing. You've got anything small, a schooner? Get rid of that
You got
thing.
a dinghy?
Yeah, you're in trouble.
Not anymore.
So I'm going to go with sharks, which seems like maybe low-hanging
It's
ocean
there.
fruit. But my second one is a little bit more inventive and creative.
Okay.
And this is an animal that, if it were much larger, I think would be a walking forest bomb.
Oh, forest bomb.
Because if it strolled into your camp and it was much bigger, it may clear it out, and that's a porcupine.
Oh, yeah, it's on my list.
A gigantic
It's on my list.
porcupine. It sends those javelins now flying through camp.
It's no longer a quill.
I feel like that would be part of your normal news, like local hikers strolling through forest were exploded.
Yeah, you're now impaled by a porcupine. You
They'll find you up on trees.
It's the fourth porcupine attack this week.
That's right.
now can porcupines shoot that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how
insane.
far, but they can projectile.
They get with it.
That is awful.
So, yeah, we'll go with the
I dig
walking
it.
bomb, a giant porcupine.
All right. I am back up. This
Now, the great horned owl doesn't have horns, though, right?
I mean,
does.
It looks
It
like
does?
it does.
Uh,
They're
it-
not actual horns, are they?
I believe that is
boy.
correct. No, I believe it, but it looks like there are like two horns. I don't think they're actual bones.
So you
though,
said
right?
yes and no at the same time.
Well, look at
I
great
said
horned
they
owl.
don't actually have horns, and you go, yes, they do. They're not actually horns.
Okay.
Which one?
Oh, no.
It's just
I got bad news.
it's just floof, isn't it?
The porcupines apparently cannot shoot their quills. That's just they can't even shoot them an inch.
Wives' tale.
Yeah.
So
Been
sorry.
lied to my whole life
So
about
sorry, Andy.
what the cupines can do.
Well, I was talking about
I mean-
the owl horn thing.
Really, thank you, Mike, for interjecting.
Sorry.
Um,
it seemed very important to
It
correct.
would still be a problem. We'll move on. Jason, you have another pick
All right. So when you look at the most dangerous animals in the world,
in the world, in all of the world,
in all of the planets, you get
really a scourge of Venus.
please draft another species of owl.
Yeah, there are a couple owls I want to talk
The
about.
small
right now.
horned owl.
Just like an eagle.
The big killers are obviously already large.
Yes.
Yes.
Moose, hippos. These are vicious animals that
Hey,
can-
we avoid them now because of size.
yes, they can kill easily because they're so big, but they are not the baddest animal in the world.
Okay.
A hippo is a big fat lump of blubber. You know what I mean? A moose has to be dumb. It looks so stupid.
They're roid raged.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, they do seem a little too muscular.
They've been
But the
juicing up in the forest.
yeah,
the baddest
they're just deer that have shot up.
yes, exactly. The baddest animal on the face of the planet
Ooh.
that don't care is the honey
Oh,
badger. The honey
But
badger.
The honey badger doesn't care about you.
The honey badger doesn't care about me, as in is not afraid of me. A honey badger will attack
Okay.
anything under any circumstance. Is vicious. Is one of the world's greatest predators. I saw where it was attacking this poisonous snake. It just went after
Yeah.
it. Got
Poisoned to death.
basically died. Then was like powered through that. Got up and ate the rest of that snake and moved on.
Now I have a theory on honey badgers, though, that might concern you.
You're gonna bring up the small man complex.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was wondering if they're so ornery just because they ain't big, and once they get big, they'd be lazy and like, yeah,
It's
I
already bred into
I
them.
do care.
It's already bred. They are. It's not.
You're just scaling up the small man complex.
Absolutely. And so a hippo-sized honey badger.
That'd be a real issue.
It's just gonna go around killing everything.
So
Yeah.
I have a question for Jason.
Are those
What-
in the United States?
the honey badger?
Yeah.
Do not know.
No.
But question for Jason: What is it like having small man complex?
Yeah. Do you
Well,
have the same qualities?
I don't.
Do
have,
you care?
I don't care at all. I don't have small man complex because
I don't care. You can't tell me I'm small.
because what I've done with my weight is I've gotten rid of small. If I was short,
Okay.
if I was short
Interesting.
and skinny, then I've got real small man complex.
So do you relate more to the hippo or the honey badger?
I feel like if you married those two and you really bred them together, that would be more who I am.
All right, so you're going with the honey
But
badger.
if I could only pick one, it would be hippo.
Okay, Mike. 2 picks for Mike. He's got the house
right.
cat. It's been scaled up. It's a problem, and it doesn't like you. And you've got 2 more selections.
All right. This next one, this would be a problem. Number one, their numbers are outrageous. They're plentiful.
Oh, no.
They are everywhere. They are bringers of disease.
Oh, no.
Mhm.
And now imagine if they were actually larger. Well, I mean, there's a couple of these things. but
I know there are. That's what I'm worried about.
I'm going with rats.
Yeah.
I mean, if you took we've seen it, rodents of unusual sizes in Princess Bride. It's a big problem, and that's just one of them. But if you take the amount of rats go to New York City.
It's a lot of rats.
I mean, what
They breed.
millions of rats just roaming in the sewers. If they were bigger,
Now your sewers are clogged immediately.
Yes,
As soon as
they
this
are.
happens, you can't even flush your toilet.
I mean,
Now, you couldn't. The reason I didn't put it on my list is because I was a little part of what makes rats awful is they hide in your walls. And I do like the mental visual picture of a big rat still trying to hide in the wall, but it's like its tail's poking out,
you could
or
just,
its belly.
it's pushing the drywall out,
That's
just scooting along.
But rats, I mean, they breed. There's so many of them. They'd probably take over.
Do you know how high shotgun sales would go if rats?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I would have one. I would not be home.
We'd all be holding them. Like, they'd be on us all the time.
Absolutely. That would be awful because when I'm talking about the honey badger, I'm thinking of one. But when you scale up the species,
Yeah.
this is now their home. This is their world.
All right,
right.
Mike. Good pick.
And then for my other one, I mean, look, rats on the ground, rats in the air. I mean, I'm going with pigeons.
No, that's my freaking next pick.
Because pigeons are awful.
They'd render entire neighborhoods unlivable.
You couldn't see through your car windshield
amount
anymore.
of poop that would just be everywhere.
I need to find new picks. I can't
Sorry.
believe you had pigeons.
Well, I mean, got to go with
You're
the
a
flying
genius.
rats. Pigeons are awful. They're rude. They never go away. They just keep coming back no matter how many treatments you put on your roof. And we had a pigeon.
They're
problem.
homing. I mean, they don't leave their home till they die.
We had a pigeon problem, and I'm talking the side of my yard where they would hang out. You could clean the cement off, and then 2 days later, there would be no cement left because it would just be bird crap. And add in the disease that they're also carrying, they're obnoxious and they're dumb. They're so dumb. They just get in the way.
They're the dumbest.
Imagine a bird that big just being dumb, standing in the road, waiting until the last second to fly away, but it can't because it's too big.
I've got a very brief pigeon story I will share, which is basically because you talk to pest people. They have to go in the middle of the night and they have to shoot the pigeons. Because the pigeons, no matter what you do, you take them, you drop them off across the
Right.
country, they're going to come back to that same area. The only way to get rid of pigeons is to kill the pigeon. And I've got a story. Man, I got so tired of this pigeon. I had new kids, right? Brand new babies, little kids, and the poop that was on my driveway was just disgusting. We
Yes.
know this. So finally, I go out with my little pellet gun, and I'm going to get this pigeon. I turn into a maniac. I'm running through the neighborhood with a pellet gun, chasing a half-shot pigeon.
This seems like
It was a bad idea. I'm not recommending this. It was a loss of judgment. But my goodness, pigeons, they can get you.
Well,
Get you angry.
They literally ruin roofs.
Yes.
With their poop.
Yes.
Their poop is so acidic that it will literally make a hole in your roof.
they suck.
Now it's a real problem. All right, so I'm back up on the clock here. Now, I've got to ask this question. To me, I consider this a gigantic animal. You guys might not. Is a tarantula an insect? Because
Yeah,
man.
it's an arachnid.
Okay.
You can't draft it.
I couldn't, and I assumed so, but I couldn't allow myself to go through this draft without at least asking the question. Because
Sure.
if it would be allowed, that's a problem.
Yeah, it's a big
It's
problem.
a big problem for me. Okay, so I'm going to go close to home here. I'm going to go with an awful beast of the desert. One of
Camel?
Yes, one of now try to get on it. Look how high up that is. No, very poisonous. Has one of the strongest bites of anything. It's called a monster for a reason.
Yeah.
Taking a Gila monster.
Yes.
Wow.
And if you're not familiar with a Gila monster because you don't live in the desert, they're bad news.
They, at least what I was always told growing up is if a Gila monster bites you, like there's not a whole lot you can do to get it to let go. Like the jaws are so powerful that you're gonna need like a knife or something to protect yourself with, because your hands, you will not be able to get the animal off.
That's what I've always heard too. Is like you basically.
Then it must be true.
Yeah, if we both heard it
Just like
independently.
porcupines shooting their quills.
Super true. It's a walking bomb. That was my whole premise.
Well, I mean, if you smash it, they're gonna go flying, right?
Yeah, they are. Okay, so you have
a Gila monster.
You have a great horned owl, a honey badger, and a Gila monster. Mike has a house cat, a rat, and a pigeon. I hate you, Mike, because I really, really wanted pigeons. I have a shark and a porcupine so far. You know, porcupines also known as walking bombs. My first pick here, look, if there's one thing I really hate about any insects or creatures is unpredictability and movement.
Like bees?
Like bees or
Spiders.
moths.
Spiders
or spiders.
can go in any direction.
Look, if you're a problem, I want to know where you're going as a
Yes.
problem. This animal is kind of haunting already with its movement. But if
Okay.
you scaled this bad dog up
Okay.
with its ability to find what it needs to find, and there's vampire versions of it,
Oh, it's on my list.
I'm going with bats.
Yes.
A giant bat,
Now that's a pterodactyl.
that's a problem.
That is such a better pick than an owl. Good pick.
So I think and they're in groups. They're in, there's tons of them.
And you know what's crazy?
They don't hang out alone.
Is like if you really look at a bat, like the wings are the scary part. The rest of the bat, it's a cute little creature.
I know.
They are like, they look like they're real snuggly, and then you zoom out and you see the wings and the claws. You're like, oh, that's a terrifying creature.
Jason's not even afraid of legless spiders.
I am not. I don't think I would be.
No, so I'm going to go with bats. A bunch of bats is a big problem.
Yeah.
And this last pick, it's really up in the air for me. I thought about going with bears
They're on my list.
because you don't live in the forest. It's over. Like if
yes.
bears get into cabins and stuff and they mess around with the garbage, but they can't break in the front door very easily. I mean, sometimes they do, but you scale that up, it's over. People just don't live in forests, but then they're probably coming into the cities, and that's an issue too. So can I pick an animal that would be delightful if it was large?
Oh,
You
sure.
this
Can
is your
I
world.
pivot the final one?
Sure.
Pick what you want.
Unicorns.
I'm just going to ruin my draft here. If I'm going to have giant seahorses. We're riding this in. We're riding them through the ocean. We're
mean,
cruising.
it would be a problem for dolphins.
Yeah, we're saddling these bad dogs up.
Our love would go down
Yeah,
for
I mean,
dolphins.
are we really interested in dolphins if there's a giant seahorse that you can ride around?
No flipping way do I care about dolphins if there are awesome seahorses.
Saddle up.
Saddle up and think about it.
Saddle up your seahorses.
The sea-doo market,
Yeah, oh,
it's
yeah.
gone. You just get a real seahorse, saddle it up.
So it's a problem for your business.
It's a problem for businesses that sell jet skis. We're going with seahorses. Final answer.
All right, I like it.
Okey-dokey.
So I've got a couple here left on my list. Some mean-spirited animals that I
I
would
could be
not
an ocean
want.
sheriff on a seahorse
Oh,
you
yeah.
would- yeah.
You could.
with this mustache. It's an ocean mustache.
But I guess I think to myself, we've got a long history here on the Spitballers of talking about dangerous animals.
Mm-hmm.
What are probably the most dangerous animals that have ever existed. And I know for a fact, based on my research, that the number one most worrisome animal is a boar. And so
Yeah.
I mean, this has been a scientific fact proven on the Spitballers. Can't believe this got to the fourth pick. but the boars would be a massive problem.
The hard part for your argument, and look, I won't take it away from you, boars are very dangerous. But you have also concluded on this podcast, you simply need a spear.
Well, but now imagine how long the spear has to be.
But
I mean, if this boar is that big, you're going to need like 20-foot spear. That's just not common. I mean, where are you getting a 20-foot spear?
Are you going to whittle that?
Yeah.
Impossible. All right, so
I
a big boar.
had boars on my list.
There you go. So, I mean, clearly that would be a massive problem. And they go in packs, so
Yeah,
watch
and
out.
I don't think they're very rational creatures. I think they just kind of run at you, and I think they have really bad vision.
Well, we know that
Once Al
Yeah.
Al hit a whole bunch of boars on a
Or
road
did
one
they
time.
hit you?
I hit them.
Oh, okay. I was trying to help you out.
No, they were crossing the street right in front of me.
You said take this.
Is a boar a
Do you have
javelina? Is that
spears
same
on the
thing?
front
Yeah, they're
of
the same.
your Do you have
Pretty
spears
much.
on the front of your car for that
you
purpose?
drive a Mad Max mobile? All right, so I'm up. I mean, I kind of just left this here because it's not as entertaining to me as the idea of like gigantic rats or pigeons, but
Yeah.
I mean, a good old fashioned rattlesnake.
Yeah.
You size that thing up to the size to like an anaconda, where you got to worry about other things, not just squeezing. It can bite you.
Well, I was thinking like right now, a rattlesnake, it darts a certain distance where it can get you. Like
It's
you get
very far though. Like when they're coiled up,
right.
their striking distance is shockingly
So then
far.
a giant one can get you even further.
Yes,
But it can't hide in the bushes as easily.
no, and it'll be so loud.
Oh
too.
my gosh, Sola.
Oh, it's like a helicopter. That's true. I didn't think about the rattlesnake. They might do damage to you just with the reverberations.
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
I mean, it would be terrifying if you've ever run into a rattlesnake. It's
It's a little
not-
intimidating.
Have either of you ran into
Yes.
a rattlesnake
Yes.
in the wild?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm happy you're still with us.
I was out on a jog at night once, and just
Sounds awful.
I mean, it was because you're jogging
Right.
at night, but
That's what Frodo and Sam did. It was a
and
jog.
You're like, I mean, you're not looking for snakes, but
So
then
you
I
saw
just-
one in the road?
Oh yeah, it like coiled up, rattle up, and I'm like, oh, just slowly backing away.
How close did you get?
I was in strike distance.
Wow.
Wow, you must have the AirPods in,
Yes, I did.
and they weren't playing
I
no rattles.
wasn't listening for rattlers.
I was on a hike, and fortunately, when you're on a hike and it gets identified, everybody like kind of takes a different path around the area where it was.
Yeah.
Jeremy cut one in half with his mountain bike.
Yeah, I was mountain biking at night, and I couldn't see very far in front of me. I was using lights, but it was too late to try and go around it, so I went right over it.
Your vehicles are monsters. You just kill things with your vehicles.
You kill boars. You kill rattlesnakes.
You're welcome.
Other honorable mention items that I had on my list. I mentioned the bears, but I wasn't sure what giant jellyfish would be all about. It seemed like,
They already exist.
yeah, it seemed like that'd be a problem. Gorillas, I mean,
Yeah.
I had baboons because I mean,
Oh,
if
they're-
you're gonna throw
King Kong,
poop,
we've seen that.
if you're gonna throw poop,
Ooh.
I mean that's a real
a big
problem.
old
if you're-
turd.
If you're bigger,
This
one.
oh, go ahead.
This is not allowed because it's an insect, but a scorpion, like they're just
What's an
literally
arachnid?
a machine that's made for killing.
They're not that fast though, are they?
They would be faster.
Well, definitely. But
Yeah.
And then the last one on my list was a hummingbird.
Oh my gosh, that's such a good pick.
Like if it could still move the way that a hummingbird
Yeah.
can move, and they eat.
Have they ever hurt anything ever?
No.
Has a hummingbird ever hurt anyone?
No, they are very gentle creatures, but they eat 3 times their body weight every day.
Ooh.
So I mean, your crops getting annihilated.
Interesting.
Well, and if they're that size, the accidental
Yes.
hurting of humans would happen.
You'd see them buzzing around, and there'd be a person sticking off the end of their.
Just they'd be flying with the person on.
Yeah, because don't they have
impaled.
basically like a
Yes.
It's like a swordfish
the
face.
swordfish face?
Yeah.
as they say. All right, we are done with the draft. Seahorse, I think, was the right pick, though.
Oh, for sure.
What did we learn today?
I learned that you can have vomit when you're just sick and not ill.
Sure.
I learned that
Thank you, Andy.
There are decorative dish towels that can absorb things. Thank you, Mike.
And like I've learned that Pitbull is gigantic, and I still can't name any of his music.
That is it for today's Spitballers podcast. Thank you for subscribing on Spotify, following on Apple, supporting the show,
On apples.
eating apples.
We'll
That's
see you
it.
next time. Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to the Spitballers podcast. To see what other nonsense the guys are up to, check out SpitballersPod.com.